Hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on MisplacedStraws.com, where music comes to life. And most musicians today are part of more than one band, and that usually leads to some pretty great lineups and some pretty amazing music. My guest today is about to release the debut record of his new band, Swan, which features former MSG vocalist Robin McAuley, Foreigner and former Dokken bassist Jeff Wilson, Matt Starr, who's drummed for Mr. Big and Ace Frehley, and on guitar, my guest today of Whitesnake and Winger, Mr. Reb Beach. Welcome, Reb.
Thank you, Jeff. Nice to be here.
Well, let's start at the beginning. I mean, Jeff had a history with Robin from the MSG days, and of course with you from the Erase the Slate period of Dokken. But how did you all come together for Black Swan?
Well, you know, Jeff has done a few projects for Frontiers Records. Mm-hmm. He's a great producer, and he's got a nice studio in L.A. And he went out with Foreigner, and the president of Frontiers said, hey, let's do another project. And I was out on tour with Jeff, and he said, well, why don't we use Reb? So he asked me, and I jumped at the chance because writing Erase the Slate with Jeff is a wonderful experience and a great record. And he and I work really well together. So that's how it kind of happened. And Robin is like Jeff's best friend, which is good because he's like the best singer in the world. So I was really happy about that.
He's a very underrated vocalist. He's amazing on this record.
It's the best part of the album for me.
And before we get too much in, Robin recently had a health scare. Any word on how he's doing now? Is everything looking better?
He's 100%. He just had a scare there. It was something that could have been really serious, and I mean it was really serious. And he pulled through. You know, he's a real trooper and just a super guy and a strong guy. So I knew he'd be okay.
Good to hear. Now, Shake the World, the upcoming record. I've been listening to it for a while now. It's such a strong record.
Oh, good.
And, did you guys write it as a band, or was there a primary writer and the rest of you kind of added in your parts? How did that work?
Well, when I flew out to L.A. and I got off the plane, Jeff said, you're writing this record. And I said, oh, okay. So I came in with about 50 ideas, and, I had just a bunch of stuff that, I had done for Winger or Whitesnake. I'm writing all the time, and it's all that 80s stuff. That's what I excel in. That's what I do. I'm a rock riff writer. Mm-hmm. So, when you write a rock song, the best thing to start with is the riff. When you have a riff, then you can kind of hear, well, where can we go from here? And you're starting with something good as a basis. So I brought in the riffs, that would be a verse and maybe chorus. So I had all the meat and potatoes of the songs. And I wasn't sure if Jeff would like them or not, but Jeff is so positive and, he's so great to work with that he picked the ones he liked. And he's also an amazing arranger. He has this great knowledge of music, like a real student of music. He can write music and read music and, knows all the chords you can go to and diminished and Mixolydian and Lydian and all that crap. So, he and I are perfect together because I just like it. I have a beautiful ear and I come up with good riffs. But I taught myself. So, I'm just kind of like I spew out the guitar riffs and the music from my instrument, and he molds it into the rest of the song. He's great at just finishing the song. I'm terrible at finishing songs. I'm great at coming up with verses and choruses and bridges. But tell me, like when it's time to go, what do we do now? I always paint myself into a corner. And so I have all these unfinished ideas. And so it was great to have Jeff finish all that stuff up for me. And, he came up with some riffs, too, in other sections to bring it all together. But just like last time, it was a great writing team.
And, you mentioned all the riffs you write, and you're the creative force in multiple bands. We mentioned Whitesnake and Winger and this band. When you're writing, do you write something to, okay, this would be a great Whitesnake riff, or this is a Winger riff, or, this is for a project that I'll come up with later on. Does it get compartmentalized like that?
There's definitely boundaries in like Whitesnake, David doesn't want any progressive stuff. He wants,
they have a sound, yeah.
He wants in-your-face rock and roll, and any more than 3 chords, and he's going to throw it out the window. And on the Whitesnake record, David wrote most of that stuff on an acoustic. I brought a bunch of ideas to the table, and I mean, we did like 2 of the ones I brought in, because he had a million ideas. He's like, "What do you think of this, Rebel Darling?" And he would play 3 chords and sing a melody. He comes up with the melody and the chords at the same time. And it's just for the first single, "Shut Up and Kiss Me." When he said, "What do you think of this? Shut Up and Kiss Me?" And I said, let's make that the working title. And it ended up being the title. But he's totally different than Kip. If I'm writing a riff, I can go more progressive with Kip stuff.
Right.
But I did, Jeff liked some of the stuff that I was doing that was in cut time. There's a lot of cut time pre-choruses in not Shake the World, but in Black Swan. Yeah. And Jeff really dug that, and I don't know, that's what I was hearing for those things.
Well, and it's funny because it's a very unique record in that the end product is really different from the sum of its parts. I mean, it doesn't sound like Winger or Whitesnake or Dokken. It sounds like its own thing, so that's why I was kind of interested to see, when you write, if it's for certain projects, because this, Black Swan sounds like its own band. It doesn't sound like, your collective past, which is really cool.
Wow. I wouldn't think that. I mean, listening to it, I would be like, this is kind of Dokken-y, and there's like a Dio. Shake the World has a Dio vibe.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, but that's because of the way he sung it. It's because of the melody. Into the light, that kind of thing. It's like, they're trying to be Dio, and it sounded like Dio, and I said, great, what's wrong with that? So. Yeah, that's interesting to me that it doesn't sound like any of those bands to you. I mean, the mix is different. The mix ended up being really bass heavy. And at first it bugged me because I was thinking I was making the guitar sound smaller, the rhythms. But then it grew on because the bass tone is so humongous that it's cool. And that made it different to me than, the other stuff that's out on Frontiers and other labels that do this kind of music.
And on Shake the World, are there any tracks that really stand out to you? I mean, for me, Divided United is a huge highlight. Immortal Souls is a great track. But is there anything for you personally that stands out?
I mean, my favorite one was still Shake the World because I like the fast, bang your head stuff. That's my favorite thing. I don't have the songs in front of me, and I haven't heard it in a while, to tell you the truth. I liked Long Road to Nowhere. I thought that was a really good hook. There's some good hooky stuff on there.
Yeah, there really is. I mean, and the cool thing about the record, too, I think, is as you're listening to it, you listen through it once, and it becomes familiar. It's a very accessible record and just easy to get into and enjoy.
It's listenable, for sure.
Exactly. And, you've been involved before with, these Frontiers projects, with the Mob in 2005. And do you ever foresee this band touring or moving on, or is it just kind of a project for now?
No, it depends how it does. If the thing takes off, then, of course, there's going to be demand for us to play live. And to do another record, and that's kind of what the contract says, is that if this does well and we want to continue doing this, then let's make do live shows when you can, when available. So we would have to put our heads together and get our schedules together to do some live shows. I mean, I would think we'd do the Frontiers Festival But I would hope that would not be the only gig that we do, because I would hate to have to learn all those frickin' songs for one show. Because it would be a lot of work, you know. This stuff's not easy to sing that stuff, you know.
And you know, it's funny. I was actually talking to your former bandmate Doug Aldrich a couple of weeks ago, and you know, he was saying how he had sort of, you know, reservations about going in and doing a band like this that he doesn't think will play live. You know, when you start something like this, do you do it with the eye toward, you know, okay, you know, do the record? Or, you know, I mean, like you said, the possibilities there depending on how it does. You know, is the goal to get it out on the road, or is the goal to put out a really great record?
For me, the goal is to put out a really great record. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd like to play live with Jeff, and I'd love to hear Robin singing next to me. I mean, we made the video, and I dug Robin on stage. I felt really comfortable right next to him. I like being a Joe Perry to somebody Steven Tyler. That's where I fit really well. Right. And I've been doing it so long, and all the rules of the stage that you don't, you know, get in front of a guy, and you know, I stay right behind Kip Winger, and I lean on his shoulder, and it's all very natural. And I felt that way with Robin. So if we did play live, I'm sure it would be great. All of us sing, which is very helpful. But no, when we were doing it, it was just like, you know, let's make a great record.
And now you're on a bit of a break now between legs of the Whitesnake tour.
Yes, Sunday I leave for Kip Winger to write the new Winger record.
That was going to be the question. So do you think most of 2020 be entitled Whitesnake, or will there be any Winger bits in there as well?
Whitesnake's tying up a lot more, because Whitesnake used to go year on, year off, year on, year off. And now David's just going out every year. And it's going to be tougher to book the Winger shows, you know, without knowing exactly what Whitesnake's doing, and then also I have to learn two different bands, and I'm starting to play Winger riffs in the Whitesnake songs and Whitesnake riffs in the Winger songs.
Well, it all goes back to how much you got to learn.
Kind of, because I'm learning. We're doing a bunch of new Winger stuff on the rock cruise that we're doing in a couple of weeks, and so we're learning all the really complicated Winger stuff, and then at the same time I'm learning some new stuff for Winger, or Whitesnake rather, and you know, all the rock songs are in like E, A, or G, and there's only so many riffs, and they're all, you know, it's either down to down to down down to down to down, or down 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 to down 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 down, or down down to down down down. You know what I mean? Like they're all really similar, and so
you got to find that subtle difference.
This is the first time I've ever you know, gotten them mixed up. But yeah, so Winger's just going to play whenever Whitesnake's not playing, and that's what they've been doing.
Yeah, and it's funny. One thing is, I was kind of looking in, getting ready for this, and I don't know if it's something that's occurred to you or not, but do you realize that other than David, you are the longest running member that's ever been in Whitesnake?
Yes, I did realize that.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, when you think of the legendary band like that's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm happy about it. You know, I've seen lots of guys come and go, and and I guess it's just been. I guess because I don't get in the way at all. Like like David doesn't even know I'm there. I just hide and stay in the shadows. I actually used to do that, but I don't anymore because I'm the music director. So Dave and I talk a lot. Yeah. But it's been 18 years. It is, so that is a long time.
And now, recently they just announced this year's class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and once again, kind of the rock part of it is missing. In a band like Whitesnake, where there's always that talk of, well, why aren't they part of it? I mean, as a musician, is it something you ever even think about or care about, or is it just something that goes on in the background for other people to argue?
The Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with that. I'm not an original member of Whitesnake, and Winger certainly will never be in the Hall of Fame. So I've never thought of that.
You know?
I'm a side man.
Well,
but my solo album, I have a new solo album coming out in the fall. Yeah, it's instrumental.
Okay.
Which, instrumentals typically don't sell anything. And the problem is that I've had this music for a long time, and Kip was like, you got to release that stuff. And he helped me with it and got musicians to play it. And it's kind of like if Jeff Beck rocked more, kind of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's that kind of a thing. It's not your typical solo album, but it's very listenable. It's totally straight ahead. It's not weird and too progressive. Do
you like see yourself doing smaller club shows or things like that when that comes out, just to promote it a bit, or even like a G3 kind of thing?
G3, baby. That's what I'll be calling up Joe. Like, Joe, I got the record.
That would be amazing to see you on that stage.
Man, I'd love it. That would be a great dream of mine. He told me if I ever do an instrumental record, to send it to him immediately, and I'm sure he'd consider me. So that would be totally awesome to do that. Have my own band and not have to deal with singing. That'd be great.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, I would love to talk to you again when that record comes out, and we can, kind of dig deep into that. So,
awesome.
The offer's definitely out there.
Thank you.
Reb, thank you so much for taking some time. The band is Black Swan. The record is Shake the World. It comes out on Valentine's Day, February 14th. It can be pre-ordered now. I know you guys have a ton of physical products and special editions, and then I'm sure it'll be available streaming everywhere as well. Just a great, fun rock record. It's really the only way to put it is it's a really good listen. So
awesome. Thank you so much.
Definitely encourage everyone to check it out.
I appreciate that very much.
Well, Reb, thank you. Best of luck with the record. Best of luck with the Whitesnake tour and the cruise with Winger, and hopefully we can chat again when the solo record comes out.
Oh, okay. I'd love that. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Jeff.
Yep.
See ya.
You got it. Bye.
Bye.